The footage reached Earth on a Tuesday morning. Grainy surveillance video from the mining colony of Kepler 186F showed 23 human women being dragged to makeshift gallows in the colony's main square. Their crime: refusing to submit to the Galactic Empire's new breeding protocols designed to produce hybrid slave labor. The executions were broadcast across the galaxy as a warning to other human settlements. The Empire believed it was demonstrating strength, showing the consequences of defiance against their expanding dominion. They had gravely underestimated what they had just unleashed. General Patricia Hayes watched the transmission 3 times before speaking. The commander of Earth's military forces had seen combat across a dozen worlds, but nothing had prepared her for the cold rage that settled in her chest as she watched those women die. Around the war room, hardened soldiers wept openly, their hands clenched into fists. "Ladies and gentlemen," Hayes said, her voice cutting through the silence like a blade, "we are no longer fighting a territorial dispute. This is extinction warfare. They want to see what humans become when you threaten our families." She turned to face the assembled commanders. "Show them." Within 6 hours, every human colony, outpost, and deep space facility received the same message. Condition black. No quarter. No mercy. No survivors. The Empire's first mistake had been believing humans were like other species. Rational, predictable, willing to calculate acceptable losses. They had studied human military doctrine, analyzed their previous conflicts, and concluded that Earth would negotiate rather than risk total war. They had not accounted for the fury of a species whose evolutionary history was written in the blood of apex predators. Captain Maria Rodriguez led the first retaliatory strike against the Centaurian fleet. Her destroyer, the Valkyrie, emerged from hyperspace directly above the enemy flagship. Weapons already hot, the battle should have been suicide, one human vessel against an entire battle group. Instead, it became a massacre. Rodriguez fought like a woman possessed, her ship dancing between enemy fire with impossible precision. When her weapons ran dry, she rammed the enemy flagship, detonating her reactor core at point-blank range. The explosion took out half the Centaurian fleet. Her last transmission was simple for the 23. That phrase became humanity's war cry. Colonel Jack Turner's Marine Battalion descended on the vegan slave processing facility like avenging angels. They moved through the complex with surgical precision, methodically executing every alien overseer they found. When they discovered the holding pens filled with human captives, Turner's men went from soldiers to something altogether more primal. No alien in that facility lived to see the sunrise. The freed prisoners reported that the Marines had fought with an intensity that bordered on supernatural, as if they were channeling the rage of their entire species. Turner's after-action report contained only 4 words: justice for the 23. The Empire tried to respond with overwhelming force, deploying 3 full battle fleets to crush the human uprising. They arrived at the Proxima system to find it transformed into a death trap. Human engineers had turned the asteroid belt into a minefield, while guerrilla fighters struck from hidden bases throughout the system. Admiral Zexkar, commanding the Imperial Armada, watched in horror as his ships were picked apart by an enemy that refused to fight by conventional rules. Humans attacked in waves, each assault more vicious than the last. They used suicide tactics, kamikaze runs, and weapons the Empire considered barbarically primitive yet devastatingly effective. "They fight like demons," Zexkar reported to Imperial Command. "They show no fear of death, no regard for their own survival. It's as if they become something else entirely." Within 2 years, the Empire's expansion had ground to a halt. Human forces pushed deeper into alien territory, liberating enslaved populations and leaving no alien military installation intact. Their tactics grew more ruthless with each victory, their reputation spreading terror throughout the galaxy. The Empire's final transmission to Earth was a desperate plea for mercy. The response came from General Hayes herself, now bearing the scars of a dozen battles. "You hanged our women. You made this choice. There will be no mercy until every one of you answers for those 23 souls. The galaxy learned that day what humans had always known: threaten their families. And there is no force in the universe more dangerous than arouse humanity.